Okay, we're rolling. This is the inaugural podcast of.
Shy, not shy, in Texas.
Okay. Okay, what we're going to talk about here is we're just going to introduce ourselves. My name is Jeff McGroarty. My wife over here,
Nikki McGroarty.
who is the shy one.
I'm shy because I don't want to be on camera, but I'm not shy about telling you what I think about things.
Trust me, for almost 20 years I've heard this. So a little backstory on of us. I was born in Canada and I grew up in New Jersey with two brothers and two sisters. So much fun.
But you were triplets.
But I was triplets and I have twin sisters. Ironically, 2 days apart, 2 years and 2 days apart in our birth years, which was amazing because we were born in Canada, spent the first years of our life in an orphanage, and then got adopted to a very wonderful couple, William and Joan McGroarty, who raised us in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, my hometown, in a nice big house with a big, phenomenal backyard and a very, very large family.
I was born in Dallas, Texas. I have a big family. We used to be all pretty close. Now we've kind of gone, on some sides of the family, we've kind of gone our separate ways and only do things with, separate from each other. But my real mom has passed away. I have my bonus mom, Sandy, and my dad, who are still alive.
Bonus mom. Sounds like you won her in some gift raffle or something.
Well, that's what they call stepmoms these days, or bonus moms.
It depends on the stepmother.
Well, I have a pretty good one.
Yeah, you do. She always tells me to be nice.
Yeah. Or she tells me to be nice if she thinks I'm being too hard on you.
You hard on me? Never. No, not at all. No.
But I grew up in Dallas. I started life 11 months old, decided it would be fun to see if I could fly. I fell out of a 2-story window. The screen fell out and down, so my eyes hit the rubber part of the screen. That's what broke my fall. And I ended up with 2 black eyes and a hairline fracture of the skull. So, side note, I know now I can't fly.
But you do bounce well.
I do bounce well, yes. Yes.
So, a little future timeline ahead of time. Gave you kind of a backstory on our young growing up life. I met this lovely woman in Pinellas County, Florida, in a bar called the Watering Trough, where we went and did regular karaoke.
So the first time I met him, he was up there singing, and apparently I was next. And while I don't sing badly, he sings very good. And I said, oh my God, I got to follow that?
Okay. Now you have to tell him about the bartender.
Yes, I'm not a real big drinker. I don't usually stay out late, and I've never been that way. So I would have 1 beer and 1 or 2 Cokes,
and
then I would leave. It didn't matter if, I would just leave.
Right.
So Jeff,
me,
would come into the bar because he kind of worked there off and on.
I worked there as part-time security. Yep.
And then he would come in and say hi.
And then I'd have to go around and do my rounds and stuff like that. And I'd come back, and you were gone.
And I was gone. But I paid Ed well. I paid Ed $20 a tip for that 1 beer and 1 or 2 Cokes to have my back.
I still want to kick his butt for this next one.
So I'd have my 1 beer, my 1 Cokes. Jeff would say hi to me, and he'd walk away. And when he'd come back, I'm not there. And so he asked Ed where's the blonde that was sitting there?
Mm-hmm.
And Ed would look at him and go,
What blonde?
yeah. So at some point he thought maybe I was a figment of his imagination.
Yeah, but that turned out to be untrue. So we ironically officially got together, I think, as a couple on one of my coworkers and friends. They were getting married at the bar, and I basically told her to sit and stay. And that was one of the few times she's ever listened to me.
Few times, yeah.
But she did. So we ended up getting together, and fast forward 3 years, roughly, when we got engaged.
From when we got engaged
to when we got married was 3 years.
Closer to 4.
Closer to 4. Okay.
Yeah.
So how I proposed to her was I'd set it up with Joe, who was the DJ and the owner of the club, to sing It's Your Song by Garth Brooks. That was one of my go-to songs in karaoke. So I happened to buy a ring, and I kept it in my guitar case. And at the time, we were living together. So that, I thought, at the time was a great idea. However, in case she went in my guitar case or anything, she would have found the ring. Luckily, she didn't. So that night at the bar, I was nervous as all hell. I had sang It's Your Song, and at the time, I got her onto the dance floor, and we had cleared the whole dance floor out. And at the time, I had faced her in the direction away from the DJ stand, the DJ booth. So as I was singing to her, finishing up the song, I see Joe coming down off the DJ booth, grabbing a bar stool, and running out onto a wood dance floor, which in cowboy boots you don't always have good traction.
No.
So he about busted his backside doing that, which almost made me laugh. But at the end of the song, the running joke was at the time she used to wear a lot of rings on her fingers.
Yeah, I used to.
Used to. Now she wears 0.
Yeah.
So we ended up I ended up asking her if she would. Told her that I was completely in love with her, and that I was wondering if there was just one more ring that she would wear. And I popped the engagement ring out, and thank the good Lord above, she said yes. So that's how we got engaged as a couple. And then we lived in Florida for about another year, I guess, give or take.
6 months.
6 months to a year?
Yeah.
Okay. And then situations changed, and she decided to want to come back home here to Texas, which was the best move ever. So, me, Nikki, our cat Sammy, in a small Toyota Tacoma pickup truck hauling a U-Haul trailer from Florida to here. Having Sammy, who apparently loved air conditioning, because he used to sit on my knee driving, sitting right in front of the air conditioning vent, and then would curl up behind me and sit on my shoulders.
But if you tried,
to crack the window, oh Lord Almighty!
He did not like that. He would sit there.
No, he did not.
He would sit there and, at the top of his lungs, meow.
No, yeah, oh yeah. So we made it here to Texas. Got together with her mom and dad, and that's how we began our life here in the Lone Star State again, because she was again born and raised here. Yeah. So fast forward 4 years.
Well, 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
We knew how we wanted to where we wanted to get married, and that was at Texas Motor Speedway in Victory Lake.
Yep, big NASCAR fans.
When he told me to sit and stay, he asked me before we actually started living together. He said, "Do you want to come over, watch NASCAR and
pizza and NASCAR? Have
pizza and NASCAR."
That's how I got her.
And that's
real simple.
Yeah, real simple.
I'm a simple guy.
I'm not that difficult either.
You're not. That's what I love about you.
But I started emailing every sponsor from every driver, every sponsor of the track, which included radio stations.
Right. Well, because we had everything pretty much NASCAR, including decorations on our Christmas tree.
Right.
We're all NASCAR. We were 100% NASCAR. That's how we wanted to get married. So started with the radio stations. And, well, actually, we went out to Texas Motor Speedway to talk to the people from Race Week Online.
Yeah.
And so they said, well, there's nothing we can really do for you, but they forwarded it over to um, their radio station, which at the time was the Twist, from was the
Well, it
Wolf,
was
96.3 KSCS. Yes.
But their sister station at the time was also a country station that
Yep.
was
That wanted to do it, and
was the Texas its name was the Texas Twister.
which will later in our story here will come into play.
Yeah.
So we ended up. They said they really couldn't do anything, but they passed it over to the Texas Twister, 96.7, and they absolutely loved the idea. So they spun it up as a promotion for the radio station called Race to the Altar,
Right.
to where we were going to get married at the track, and the listeners from the radio station, they were going to put out a poll to see what we wear, where we would get married, like certain details of the actual wedding ceremony.
Yeah, so that the public, there would be a public relations.
Right. So us together with Crash, who was the
on-air morning personality.
right, but he was also the program director for the station.
Correct.
Crash Poteet. I believe his first
Gale.
name was Gale.
Gail
Gayle, I think. Sorry if I mispronounced it, Crash. I'm sorry, dude. So we ended up doing a whole big radio promotion for the station with that, including some on-air talking from us.
And Jeremy Robinson, who is a big
radio personality in the DFW Metroplex here. Shout out to Jeremy. Love you, man. So we all got together and did that. And then on a side note, after that was getting all set up, my wife loved Rachel Ray. Still loves her cooking, has 1,000 cookbooks over here behind me that we look at occasionally, blow the dust off occasionally because we're all trying to lose weight here. Went to her and her mother, her biological mother, went to a book signing. Well, I had no interest in that, and they did, so they got in line to get her autographs. I ran into a reporter from Pegasus News who was doing a story, and that was, I guess, an online newspaper at the time here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I got her to talking about her wedding, so she thought that'd be a great story. So she actually did a feature story on us on the online newspaper, and then in turn, some photographer friends of hers
that worked for
Pegasus News were just starting out in their photography business. Two girls.
Or ladies. Two ladies.
So they heard about it and decided to shoot our entire wedding pro bono to promote their business, we were like maybe the third or fourth customer they ever had.
Right.
So now it came down to the wedding itself. So lo and behold, gotta love the weather here in Texas because blink and it'll change.
The track picked the day we got married.
Yes, which was August 13th, so it's Friday the 13th.
Yes.
This is where the lovely setup begins.
Yes.
Friday the 13th, 2007 was going to be the day of our wedding. Now, leading up to the wedding, we kept a very, very close eye on the weather. Very close eye on the weather.
Yes.
And then as the day approached, we realized we were going to have some inclement weather. Surprise, surprise.
April in Texas,
rain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we ended up moving up the weather an hour. It was originally scheduled for like 1 o'clock Central Time at the track in Victory Lane. That's where we're getting married, in Victory Lane. They moved it up an hour because of the weather. So we ended up getting married in Victory Lane by Crash, the radio station.
Yeah.
We were originally going to have, of all people, Richard Petty, the king of NASCAR, come to our wedding ceremony, but because of timing and events and stuff, he couldn't, which was fine. We met him later.
Yeah.
Phenomenal, fantastic. So we ended up getting married, which was like one of the side events of the track that I believe, I don't know if they advertised or not.
I don't think they advertised it.
But everybody knew about it.
But it was covered it ended up being in every newspaper from the East Coast to the West Coast.
Yes.
And it was shown on CNN.
Okay. this is why it was shown on CNN. Remember, I said this is an evolving story here. So the day we got married, like I
Friday
said,
the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Right. So that's number one.
We were getting
They
married.
were getting married by
Texas
the
Twister.
Texas Twister. The minister's on-air name was Crash.
So NASCAR related.
So NASCAR related. And then after the ceremony, we had set up we had a tent. The radio station set up a tent, so that's where we actually cut the cake. We had a beautiful setup.
Yeah,
we had a 3-tier fake wedding cake. That was a checkerboard pattern with a race car. At the time, was Dale Jr.'s Bud car.
Yeah.
Sitting on top, spinning around.
Which we got to keep.
Right. Which was made by Delicious Cakes here in Fort Worth. Got to give a shout out to them.
Yep.
Always shout out to your sponsors. And then everything got cut short because then a tornado decided to touch down 5 miles from the track. So now everybody that was inside the wedding venue now all of a sudden had to go underneath the tunnels because of the tornado warnings.
Right.
So that's where we ended up tossing the garter
and the wedding bouquet
to a couple of lucky fans that were under there with us and had us sign both.
If the Twister hadn't touched down, they were going to let us do it on air from Trackside Live.
Trackside Live. Yep. At the time, it was the Speed Channel. This shows you how long ago it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
But since we all had to go there, we just decided to do the.
Yep.
In the tunnels.
So we ended up throwing the bouquet and stuff in the tunnels.
And the the lady who caught the bouquet had me autograph it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then the next day that day we were leaving the track.
Mm-hmm.
And a side note, 2 weeks before my wedding, my mom passed away. My adoptive mother passed away. So as we were leaving the track, I happened to look over at the track, and literally from one end to the other of the track was a rainbow. So I quickly got a picture of it, and I thought that was my mom looking down on me saying, "Hey, good job, good luck," So that was pretty cool. So the next day we were walking around the track, and we were like local celebrities.
Yeah, everybody was coming up going,
"Hey, you guys were the ones," because we're wearing groom and bride and groom hats.
Yeah.
But everybody was coming up to us, asking us for our pictures and autographs. And we also got to meet, through our security friend, Stone Cold Steve Austin, not once, but twice.
Yeah.
We met him twice.
Yeah.
Awesome dude. Rattlesnake, man, you the man. Again, shout out. So that's how we got together with our wedding. And then, like I said, almost 20 years later, we're still together. So now we're just starting this podcast called Shy.
Not Shy.
In Texas, because that's where we live. Like I said, I'm not the shy one to be on video. My wife, however, is the shy one. Again.
I'm the shy one because I'm working on myself to look better. But for right now, I don't want to be on camera. But I will tell you my opinion about any topic that we can bring up.
Yes, you will. Absolutely. With no hesitation. I'm just letting you know that.
If you've ever watched Fox News, I am Dagan McDowell. One of my opinions.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's what the podcast. It's going to be about not only personal stories from each of us, like we did this intro. It's going to be professional stories because I'm a 25-year first responder. And also, we're going to have some political conversations. On our opinions, strictly our opinions. And in the future, we're going to hopefully get call-ins, set up a thing where people can call in and talk live with us on our podcasts.
Of course, you can always, now that it's going to be on YouTube, there's always a place.
The subscribe button.
Yeah.
If you like what we're talking about. If there's anything that interests you, by all means, set it in.
Or make a comment.
Or make a comment
on the video.
On the videos. Yep, that's always welcome. Again, this is from our home, as you can see. I'm also a Dallas Stars fan. some of the cowboy hats here and up here are ones that I had signed over the years um, from the racetrack, which Kenny Wallace, who was a
Yep.
very famous NASCAR driver, actually wore one of those on one of the race day live shows,
Yep.
which him and Jimmy Spencer and John Roberts all signed when the Speed Channel was on. So I got the honor of one of them actually wearing
Yeah.
wearing
Kenny Wallace wore
Kenny
it.
Wallace wore my hat because he thought it was a cool idea. Because I don't think anybody's ever done that before. I think I was maybe the originator of that.
Now, something else that's original is I got my wedding dress autographed.
Yes, we have over
200?
I'd say 200 signatures
Yeah.
on the wedding dress from NASCAR personalities, radio personalities, television personalities such as Guy Fieri and Rachel Ray,
Yeah. And Mario Batali,
Maria Batali from the Food Network. Yep.
Bobby Flay.
Yep, Bobby Flay. I have, I believe, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Some of them, maybe.
Maybe.
I know I have some WWE personalities on there.
Yeah, we have WWE personalities.
Because
on
I
there.
do watch wrestling.
I have Richard Petty.
Yep.
I
King.
have.
Kyle Petty.
Yeah.
You have Darryl Waltrip.
Yes.
And you also have Kerry Earnhardt,
And
Jeffrey Earnhardt, and Teresa Earnhardt.
Yes.
We haven't gotten Dale Jr. yet, but hopefully someday we'll get Dale Jr.
I'd also like Kelly.
And Kelly, because
Yeah.
Kelly rocks. Kelly's
Yeah.
awesome. Shout out to Junior Motorsports. Again, playing the favorites. So what's funny is the bottom of the dress is dirty because again the weather we had on our wedding, it was nasty and wet and miserable. So that in itself, and we have it hanging in a closet here, and eventually I want to put it in some kind of cabinet or something to preserve it for years and years and years. But that was pretty much our backstory. We live in Ennis, Texas. We have 4 fur babies. We have no kids of her. She has kids grown up and with grandchildren. We have grandchildren.
But our kids together.
But our kids together are covered in fur.
Yeah.
We have
the 4-legged kids.
Yep, we have one of them down here sitting behind me, sleeping. That's our oldest. He's Lucky.
Yeah, he's 13 years old.
He's 13 years old. Then we have...
And all of our animals are rescues.
Yes. We have our newest addition to the clan that we got a while back. His name is Tucker. He is currently 130 pounds and thinks he's a lap dog.
We hate to tell him he's not.
He thinks he's a lap dog. We also have Shadow and Sammy.
2 cats.
2 cats. Right. So our life and household furniture is also covered with fur. So anybody who's got fur babies knows our thing here.
We if you want to know our personalities, my Facebook page says I'm a little bit of Julia Sugarbaker, Brenda Lee Johnson from The Closer.
Yep.
Julia Sugarbaker's from Designing Women, for those who may not know.
Yep.
I'm a little bit of Roseanne from the Roseanne show from the 80s and 90s, and all rolled up into one. So, yeah, I'm a little hard to handle sometimes.
A little. But I love her to death for it. Wouldn't change a thing.
So, shows that we watch, like the old Roseanne show,
yep.
we identify as Roseanne and Dan.
Mm-hmm.
We would be the modern. But then we also are Mike and Molly.
Are Mike and Molly, yes.
Yeah. So.
But we like all those things. But like I said, the biggest thing we're going to be doing on this podcast is attempt to not only talk about
subjects that
are personal to us, both personally and professionally. Upcoming podcasts are subjects like SSDI, because my wife is disabled and has a lot of issues with getting benefits due to the fact that she hasn't worked since 2007. And other subjects such as first responder burnout and suicide rates, the dark side of first responders. But it does happen. It's a major thing in the country and has been for years. We're going to talk about that. We're going to also talk about the current political climate both Democrat and Republican. Be fair on both sides.
We will be fair and balanced.
Yes. Um, and discuss different aspects of that, and pretty much anything we're going to try to get out once we advance in this podcast. We're going to try to get out in the community and talk and highlight local businesses in our area here in the NS Waxahachie, kind of Ellis County area, because there's a ton of businesses that we go into that we can give a shout out, and maybe a feature on a podcast down the road. And eventually, if we get good enough, maybe we can get some local celebrities that are from the area to maybe either call in or write on our podcast, come on our podcast somehow, just to discuss their career, their lives, what's going on with them. But that's pretty much it. So, thank you all for listening to the initial Shy Not Shy in Texas podcast.
The first podcast, we wanted to let you know who we are, and so that you'll know when we're talking that we, kind of our personalities.
Right, exactly. What we're going to be talking about. And if anything interests you, we're going to be posting this little bit later, probably today. Once I work the kinks out of it. Online, we're going to be putting it on probably Facebook. And we're going to put it on YouTube.
We have a YouTube
and we have
channel.
a YouTube channel called Shy Not Shy in Texas. So hopefully we'll get some likes on it, some comments, suggestions, stuff like that. So thank you all for listening, and we will talk to you later.